A white cataract is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. At the beginning of the case, I have to assess this for intumescence because that is going to decide if I need to decompress this or not. In this case, I decided that this cataract warranted a decompression. So I have filled the AC with Helon 5 and I am going to show you a Phaco decompression, making my main incision here and then immediately going in on sculpt setting, going in dry, and from position 0 to position 3 buzzing into that anterior capsule and then keep on aspirating in position 1. Now coming out with the phaco but filling more viscoelastic, going in with the AC cannula and trying to aspirate some more of that liquid cortex. Using the cystitome to expand that initial puncture wound to make a circular capsulorhexis. Now, even though it is phaco decompressed, what I did not realize initially is that it can still have a tendency to run out. So, trying to keep the rhexis a little bit on the smaller side. I can always expand it later. Now, the alternative technique to decompressing an intumescent cataract is with a needle decompression, in which I go in with a 27 gauge needle through the paracentesis, not having made the main wound yet, and puncture the AC while aspirating at the same time. Both are great techniques. To me, the phaco decompression just seems a little bit easier. Now going in with the hydrodissection cannula, decompressing the AC, removing some of that viscoelastic, and the cortical matter continues to come. There is a central dense endonucleus. I'm going in now with the phaco probe. I am on the chop setting and I am trying to aspirate a little bit more of that fluffy cortical matter using Cybele as my second instrument because I am planning to horizontal chop this endonucleus. Now digging my phaco probe on the chop setting into the center of this endonucleus, going out to the periphery, positioning my chopper at the adequate depth and bringing it to the phaco handpiece. Now this nucleus has split along its pre-existing Y sutures, so I didn't have to do any more chops and just separated along those lines. At this point, this has become a pretty standard nuclear disassembly. I'm aspirating one of the fragments and sub-chopping it and shoving it into the phaco tip, trying to minimize my use of phaco energy. The only thing I have to be cautious about right now is that there is no epinucleus and minimal cortical matter protecting the bag. So I have to make sure that I remain up in the AC. There is a big piece protecting the bag right now, so we are okay. But as I reach this last fragment, I will now refill the bag with viscoelastic just to keep it down. What I have recently learned is that not all white cataracts need to be dense cataracts. There are some that are full of fluffy cortical material and you don't even need phaco energy to aspirate that out. Usually these occur in the setting of trauma in young individuals. Speaking of trauma, white cataracts often have other associated problems. The biggest one is zonular weakness. So before starting a white cataract case, I must remind myself to assess for zonular weakness and be on the lookout for it. The other thing that can happen is that these can have a pretty fibrotic anterior capsule, and so you might have to use scissors to break that. The cortex is now cleaned up and I did some polishing there too, filling my AC and the bag with viscoelastic and inserting the lens. In this case, the haptics of the lens did not let go of each other despite knocking them with my second instrument. So I used the capsulorhexis forceps to just pinch them and then they came loose. Now just cleaning up the viscoelastic, centering up my lens, and then hydrating my wounds, making sure that they are not leaking, checking with the Vexel, making sure the pressure is okay. Patient's gonna have a great outcome. Thank you for watching.